There's going to be a huge augment change, and a lot of people are freaking out about it because we are going to get 4 champion augment rerolls in patch 13.3, and these are also separate from the other rerolls that we get. But here's the truth about this, because a lot of people don't actually know how augment rerolls work. So from a glance, you think 4 rerolls, you're going to get the perfect augments every single time, but I'm here to tell you that that's not going to happen. And I'll explain why in just a bit, but when I first saw this announcement, I was bugging out too, because I always thought that the design team's philosophy was it's okay to have imperfect stuff, and a lot of the skill expression in the game is managing those imperfections. So this is how it's going to work. With 4 reroll augments, we are going to see 15 different augments each time if you use all your rerolls, and this should give you a big chance to get something that you want, right? Secondly, 2-1 hero augments will still be full random, and then on 3-2 and 4-2, these will still be tailored. So what does this solution fix? This fixes the problem of playing suboptimal boards right before the hero augment rounds, and I really enjoy that a lot because it feels bad to sack around just to perfectly tailor your hero augments. So now instead of only playing one trait because you really need, let's say, a Z augment, you're only playing duelist in that case, you can now play maybe some other stuff. Maybe you're playing duelist with some threat units. You're not going to lose one of your augment shops to one of those threat units. Here's where things get a little tricky. If we take a little dive deeper, you'll notice that you still won't get absolutely perfect augments, and this is why. The post that best explained this is on this Reddit post right here. This post was made by a person named TextFalls. He analyzed how hero augment manipulation works because a lot of people were playing suboptimal boards in order to get their perfect hero augment. But then he realized that sometimes when you reroll, you often get something that's completely unrelated to your board. And the reason behind that is because there are these things that he identified as like error codes where it throws you a random augment. And this happens if you get the same augment twice, or if your tailor augments don't have a hero augment at that cost level. For example, there's no 4-cost recon. So essentially, because we have so many rerolls, we'll often get the same augment based on our tailored shops, which should throw us a bunch of random augments. So essentially what this means is that you're not going to get perfectly what you want every single time. There's a higher chance for you to get that, obviously, but it's still not going to be completely perfect. There's also another thing to consider, and that is even though you see 15 augments, there are a lot of augments in the game, especially when they're mixed cost augments. So for example, on stage 1, you could get a 1-1-1 augment, you could get a 1-1-2, 1-2-2, you could even get like a 1-2-3 on stage 2-1, and there are just so many different combinations. There's more than what I just said on every single stage. So on 2-1, it's going to be different. On 3-2, it's going to be different. On 4-2, it's going to be different. So if there are any times where multiple cost augments are offered, it's again going to be harder to get the specific one you want. For example, for 4-cost augments, I believe there are 12 4-cost heroes, which means there are 24 of those augments. And if you're getting randoms a lot of times, it could potentially mean you don't get exactly the one you want. Let's say you're playing Laser Core and you get offered a Sejuani augment early, but you really want the Z one. If you re-roll, you could keep getting the same Sejuani augment, which in turn turns into a random one, and then there is still a chance you could never get your Z augment. Again, since you only see 15 augments, there are 24 total. There's actually a decent chance you don't get it. Now, add on to the fact that it could be like a 3-3-4 augment round, in which case you could get both 3-cost and 4-cost units. There's a very strong possibility that you just don't see the 4-cost augment that you exactly want. So it's not going to lead to perfect augments, even though people think it will. In terms of actually playing the game, so there is one thing to keep in mind, and that is if you ever see like a takeable augment, you still might have to just take it without re-rolling to get something even better, because again, you could just be left with something random. That's pretty much all I want to say about it, and also hopefully some of you other guys check out this post on Reddit that pretty much explains how it works. It's the closest thing I found, and it's not perfect. The only people that actually know how the augment re-rolling works are people that work on the TFT team, and I'm guessing they don't want to release exactly how this actually works, but hopefully this brings to light that it's nothing to like actually freak out that much about because of the whole like error thing that throws out a random augment. But that's pretty much all I have to say today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Maybe I'm completely wrong. If that's the case, let me know down in the comments. I'm not saying that there isn't a higher chance to get the augment you want. Of course there is. You have more rerolls. All I'm saying is that you're not always going to exactly get what you want. But that's going to be it. I will see you all later.